Okay, let's unpack this topic today. We're diving into something I think really hits home for a lot of people, building confidence at work.
Definitely. Yeah, we've been looking at some material. I think it was an article or maybe a podcast bit called Building Work Confidence,
Hmm.
Steps and Tips.
Right, and it gives some, really practical, straightforward ways to feel a bit more secure, more capable when you're on the job.
And it touches on something, well, fundamental. This source really makes it clear that confidence isn't just an internal feeling. It actually it changes how you see yourself and how others see you.
Yeah, totally. It's a common thing, isn't it? Whether you're like new in a job, maybe using English as a second language, or just feeling a bit shaky in those big meetings.
Exactly. A real hurdle sometimes.
So our mission here really is to pull out the core steps from this source, turn them into things you can actually use, actionable takeaways,
And the nice thing is it's laid out quite clearly, step by step.
which is perfect. That's how we'll tackle it. So let's jump into that first piece of advice it offers.
Okay, so the first big one they mentioned is basically about understanding your own worth there in the workplace. They put it simply, know your value.
Know your value. I like that.
It's this core reminder, right? You were hired for a reason. You've got specific skills, maybe unique talents, ideas the team actually needs.
Right. And it's not just, feel good stuff. The source suggests you actually fight back against that negative voice inside by listing real evidence.
Evidence, like what?
Like, what projects did you nail? Any positive feedback you got? Even if it was just casual, what specific skills do you actually have?
Okay, so making it concrete.
Exactly. Seeing that proof kind of shifts your focus from, what you think you lack to what you actually bring to the table, building a factual case for yourself.
That makes sense. And once you start sort of grounding yourself in that value, the next step they talk about flows pretty naturally from it. Speak up.
Right. This is where the internal stuff starts to show on the outside.
Yeah. And this part of the source, it really encourages taking like small, deliberate actions. It's not about suddenly dominating every single meeting.
No, not at all. It could be as simple as just, verbally agreeing with someone if you genuinely agree, or asking a question to clarify something.
Or even just saying, hey, I'd like to add something quickly, and then just sharing one brief thought. Little contributions.
Yes. The examples are key, aren't they? They show you don't need some grand speech. Just short, thoughtful input adds up. It builds your presence.
Uh-huh. And the more you kind of practice using your voice, even in small ways, the less intimidating it becomes over time. It's like building a muscle, right? Practice makes it stronger, more natural.
Which leads us nicely into the third step they highlight, keep learning.
Ah, yeah. The link between competence and confidence, it's direct.
Definitely. Feeling prepared, knowing your stuff, it just dramatically changes how capable you feel.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the source stresses this continuous improvement idea, whether it's, getting better at technical skills or communication, maybe focusing on your English. It's empowering.
Yeah, and they suggest even a small amount of time, like just 10 minutes a day, dedicated to learning something relevant, that can chip away at feeling inadequate, builds up that knowledge base.
Absolutely. Bit by bit.
Okay, and finally, the source gets into maybe the trickiest bit, the inner work. Watch your thoughts. That internal critic.
Yeah, that voice can be relentless, can it? This is where it gets really interesting, I think. The source isn't saying you need to be perfect or know absolutely everything.
Right. It's more about cultivating this belief that you can handle things. You can manage challenges, even if you mess up sometimes.
You have to sort of actively manage that inner conversation. Become the manager of your thoughts.
So instead of letting that I'm not good enough track play on repeat, you consciously swap it out. Replace it with something more, supportive or just realistic. Like, okay, I'm learning this, or I can figure this out, or even, well, that didn't work, let's try this instead.
It takes discipline, for sure. Yeah. But it's powerful. It's trusting your ability to adapt, your resilience, not just what you already know right now.
So if we tie all these threads together, the main message from this source is actually pretty encouraging, isn't it?
Very. Confidence isn't this fixed thing you're born with or without. It's something you actively construct. You build it.
Intentionally, step by tiny step, day by day.
You build it by recognizing your value, practicing speaking up, staying committed to learning, and, crucially, managing that inner voice.
Reshaping the internal narrative.
Exactly. And remembering that starting point. You do have value. You were hired for a reason. Trust that. Believe you can learn, contribute, and, succeed.
Yeah. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these small actions, speaking up once, learning for 10 minutes, challenging one bad thought, they don't just make you feel better inside. The source kind of hints that this internal shift actually changes how you act, how others see you, your potential.
Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of our professional potential, maybe, is just sitting there locked behind a lack of confidence that we haven't actively cultivated.
It's a powerful thought. Imagine the compound effect of just sticking with these small steps over time, that internal change impacting the external world. It really poses the question, what are we capable of if we build that belief?